And welcome back to Rowdy.com's look at the preseason top 20 as defined by NASCAR Illustrated. If you've been keeping track, you know we only have one driver to go. With me is the editor of SceneDaily.com, a sister publication, I guess, or website to NASCAR Illustrated, Jeff Owens, and we've reached the top. Surprise, surprise, the voters for NASCAR Illustrated predict Jimmie Johnson will win yet again.
Yeah, imagine that. Surprise, surprise.
Really went out on a limb. How likely do you think it is that he'll six-peat?
You know, until somebody proves they can beat him, he's the overwhelming favorite. I think the thing you got to look at is the odds are against him because he's done it 5 times, and eventually the luck's got to run out. Not that it's all been luck, but you got to have some breaks, and he really hasn't had a season where everything's went wrong, where he had a lot of bad luck, and every driver we see go through that from time to time. So I think that's what the other competitors have to hope, is that he finally has some bad luck. If he doesn't, and he goes into that chase in a good position, he's going to be very, very difficult to beat again. I don't think 6 is out of the question.
In a way, 2010 was the most impressive of his championships because he seemed vulnerable. He didn't have that Hendrick advantage we've come to expect.
Yeah, he did face a lot of adversity last year. They did not have the season that they're accustomed to early in the year, and they had to do a lot of adjusting. One thing that threw a lot of teams off last year was that spoiler change, and it took them a little bit of time to adjust to it. And we see what happened to the other Hendrick teams. Gordon and Martin all struggled. They didn't win a race, but Jimmie and them figured it out just in time, and they went into the chase with momentum, and then they did what they normally do. And at the end, they were really, really pressured. I mean, Hamlin and Harvick put up a great fight. It went right down to the end, and yet they won again. So I think that's a credit to them, and also, I think it gives them even more confidence to know that they can face a challenge like that and still win the thing.
Yeah, and of course, Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson, the one pair that remains constant over at Hendrick Motorsports. Any ripple effects from all the shifting around that might affect this 48 team?
I think it's got to have some effect. I mean, we don't know yet right now whether all those pit crew guys are going to be there or not. It looks like they're probably not. Basically what happened was he's having open tryouts for his pit crew after the changes he went through at the end of last season. There had to be some hard feelings there among guys that got benched, so to speak. So he's having an open competition. He's having tryouts, and he said the other day he didn't know who his pit crew's going to be yet. He said there might be a couple of guys from last year still on the pit crew. There might not. He also said don't be surprised if they change crews again during the middle of the season, and it could get them off to a little bit of a slow start, not knowing who the pit crew is, not having that continuity. But I think as the season goes along, they'll iron those troubles out, and they'll be right back to where they were.
It's amazing that with all their success, they're still willing to pull the trigger on making changes like that. I like the open auditions for pit crew. I think you and I should go down there, tire carrier, gas man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think we could do it.
All right.
I think we can do it.
So I didn't put Jimmie Johnson in at first, but of course all our votes were average. Did you put him in at first on your personal vote?
I did because, like I said, I think until somebody proves that they can beat him, they're the overwhelming favorite. And right now, we saw them as vulnerable last year as they've ever been.
And they still won.
And I think this could be the year. I think there's the best opportunity ever for someone to step up and beat them. But we've been saying that for 5 years now. So until it happens, we'll see.
Jeff Owens, editor, SceneDaily.com. That has been your NASCAR Illustrated Top 20 preview, Rowdy style. We're done. We're going to move on to something else, get a little racing to talk about.
All right.
Thank you,
next
Jeff.
time. Thanks.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.